Good evening, Fernwood. It is your reader friend Neil here, and it's time for us to digest another episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Today we are watching episode 141 from October 18th of 1976. We've got a lot of recapping to do, so let's get started. Tom finally found Mary at the mental ward after searching for her for a week. They had a lovely reunion until Mary got heated about some of the fears she had about another patient in the ward. Tom left Mary to speak to her doctors because he felt she might be delusional and went home and found Heather taking care of the place. In the mental ward, we have a few new characters that we are starting to get to know. Mr. Ackerman is the director and is very much enjoying having a celebrity like Mary Hartman under his care. Of course, really, he seems to be much more concerned with having a celebrity and the money that is attracting. Dr. Williams has been meeting with Mary and doing his best to give her the best care that he can. He generally believes that she should be healthy enough to go, although there is some butting heads between him and Mr. Ackerman, especially because of the money. Luckily, Dr. Williams does have an ace up his sleeve. Dr. Medwick is also generally helpful to Mary. He has given her a homework assignment to do when she gets home so that she can improve her sex life. Mary is ambivalent about the exercise at first, but seems quite excited, though she is having trouble getting a weekend pass to go home. Nurse Gimble is generally very sweet, but she has a quirk that is she shows up to work with new injuries quite often. She will usually dismiss any calls that anything weird might be happening, though she does have somewhat of a depressive reaction to that. We have a few other members of the ward like Wanda, who seems to be the den mother of the place, and Chester Markham, who has threatened to level most of southern Ohio because he has a nuclear device. Most of the folks in the ward believe that Chester is delusional, though there is one scientist out in the world that seems to believe that Chester does actually have access to plutonium. Over at the hospital, Loretta and Charlie have had some problems because Charlie lost a testicle in the violence at the end of season 1. They are still very loving, though Charlie has to admit that even Loretta's flirtations are not causing any sexual response in him. Loretta has also consoled Merle Jeters over the loss of his son, Jimmy Joe Jeters, who was electrocuted in the bath. Merle seems excited to be leaving town, though he is getting some attention in the political arena. Martha has been heartsick over the mysterious disappearance of George. She has engaged the Fernwood Police Department to help out in this. Kathy believes that George left because she told him that she was pregnant and doesn't know who the father might be. Kathy has also reached out to Clete Meisenheimer, who was thrilled to marry her until he figured out that the baby could not have been his. Then back to Mary Hartman, who was very eager to get home, and for most of the week could not earn a weekend pass because of Dr. Ackerman's directive. Mary received a call from author Gore Vidal, who would like to write a book about her life. Then last Friday, after Dr. Williams exerted some mayonnaise-related pressure on Mr. Ackerman, was successful in giving Mary a pass. Mary insisted that her visit home should be a surprise, and we will see how that will go because Heather has not been the housekeeper that Mary was, plus other issues that are going on at home. That's our recap. Let's get started.
Mary Hartman! Mary Hartman!
Oh, Charlie. Sweet Peach. Oh, don't you know that you're just my sweet, precious, darling angel from heaven? Yeah, you're my baby boy, too. Yes. I love you. Yes, I do. Charlie, don't stop. Please, don't stop. Don't stop.
Loretta! Loretta!
Hi, baby boy. I was just having the best dream.
Yeah. I know you were, honey.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know
darling.
what you were dreaming about, too.
Honey, did I wake you up?
No. I was up.
You was? Oh, darling.
Oh, honey, no, honey. No, that's not what I meant, honey. I just wasn't asleep, that's all.
Oh, Charlie, honey, don't look so down in the mouth.
I'm down all over the place.
Charlie, look, everything is going to be just fine. I know it is, honey. We just got to take our time and just be patient with everything.
Yeah. Maybe you're right.
I know I'm right, darling, because the doctor said that this is just temporary, and he said that it's very psychological, and everything. And what I think we're doing is just putting too much pressure on ourselves, and we're worrying too much and dwelling too much on it and making too big a deal out of it. Now, I just want you to relax, okay?
Yeah.
And keep the faith, Charlie. And you've got to believe that. The Lord knows that it ain't natural for a couple that's married to have these kind of problems. And the Lord is not going to let us continue to have these problems if they're not natural, because the Lord wouldn't let us do anything unnatural. Now, you just have to know that I am with you.
That's what's keeping me going.
And I'm going to help you in any way I can.
I know you will, honey.
And I love you very, very much, baby boy. Now, you try and get some sleep, okay?
Okay, yeah. I'll try.
Charlie, was you sleeping at all?
Yeah, well, a little bit. Till you woke me up, moaning in the night.
What'd you say?
I said I was sleeping a little bitty. Till you woke me up with your dreaming and all.
No, after. What'd you say after that?
Moaning in the night?
Charlie, that's it!
What?
Moaning in the night, that's it!
What? That's what?
I can't believe it. Charlie, I just knew that somewhere in all of this misery and everything, there was going to be a song that would come out, and kind of help us cope with it and all, and deal with it and everything. And that is it, Charlie. Moaning in the night is it. I can't believe it. You know how my Uncle Emil, he'd always say to me, he'd say, Loretta, under every rock there is good, and moaning in the night is our good under the rock. I can't believe it. It's going to be a hit, Charlie. Surefire hit. I just know it is.
Come on, play it, honey.
Well, I don't know what it is yet. Let's see. 'Cause I'm moaning, yeah, I'm moaning, baby, I'm moaning, woe in the night. Night fight, kite light, sight,
A, B, C.
die.
Would you like to register?
No, thank you.
You don't want a room?
No?
This is a motel, you know.
Oh, yes, I know. I've stayed here often.
Oh, I see. Then, is it lost and found?
Huh?
Do you wish to inquire about something you've lost here?
Oh, well, I didn't lose it here. I lost it a long time ago. I mean, aren't you
Yes?
new here? I mean, didn't there used to be a man?
Oh, but was discharged, yes.
But you look awfully familiar.
Well, this is just my part-time job. Actually, I'm a librarian.
Oh, well, I don't go to the library very much, at least not as much as my sister,
Your sister?
Mary Hartman.
Mary Hartman.
You know her?
Well, I certainly do. And the books she checks out. Well, exactly what can I do for you?
Could you do me a favor?
A favor?
Yeah, I was wondering if I could glance through your register here. I'll recognize the name the minute I see it.
I don't understand.
Oh, well, you see, I'm working on my memoirs.
At your age, memoirs already?
Well, you see, I'm working on them up until now. I thought I would start young so that I wouldn't forget anything. Now, may I please look at your register, please?
Well, it's highly irregular.
But highly urgent. I mean, there is a deadline.
A publisher, no doubt. Well, here.
Thank you. I'll recognize the minute I see it. It's a Armenian name, long and very unusual. Unless, of course, you're an Armenian, then it would be common. But I'm sure it's Larry something. Larry. Here it is. I recognize his handwriting. Larry Smith. That's not Armenian. Wait a minute. There must be a mistake. Somebody must have changed this.
No mistake. The record shows you checked in with Larry Smith during the siesta rates, and you didn't even stay the night.
Well, we didn't like the service.
Well, I wouldn't quibble with the service during siesta rates.
Here, Kabibian, here it is. Oh, thank you so much. Do you have a Fernwood directory?
Well, I think we have. If it would help you any, here. Though, perhaps what you really need is a priest.
That's the last thing I need. A, B, C, D, F, G, K, 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 Kabibian, Larry Kabibian. Here it is. I got it.
Oh, actually, what you need is a nice man who can pay for the full 24 hours. That way, you get fresh towels and coffee packets.
Oh, well, next time it's going to be for a weekend for my honeymoon or nothing. Thank you very much.
How you doing, Loretta?
Merle. Hi, I thought you was in North Texas.
Yeah, I was. I come back. How's Charlie?
He's fine. He's well. In fact, he's well enough to be upstairs in our bedroom right this very second.
Right.
Makes me a little bit nervous even knowing it.
You know, Loretta, I wish you could find it in your heart to forgive me.
Well, I have to admit, Merle, that, after our little chit-chat, Capri Lounge, and, you losing Jimmy Joe and all that, that I do, quite honestly, feel a little less fierce anger toward you than I did.
I appreciate that.
Well, so, Merle, how come you're back here in Fernwood, rather than North Texas where you was going to stay?
Yeah, well, that's just a matter of the will of God.
Oh. Amazed he's concerned over you still, after you had that sinful, horrible attack on my pure young body.
Yeah, well, no, I think he forgive me that particular move because he did give me this message to return here.
Oh, you mean like a vision or something, or a sign?
Well, like that, something like that, only it was a message that come through the U.S. mails.
Oh, Merle, God don't send letters through the mail.
Yeah, that's right, he doesn't, you're right there. And it wasn't just one letter either, it was thousands of letters, which the Lord caused to be written by the folks that saw me on television that time. I mean, just beautiful letters, Loretta, full of love and love offerings. It's just...
Love, you mean they sent you money?
Yeah, money which I'm now going to spend making Jimmy Joe's dream come true. His dream of building the condos for Christ.
Oh, and that is what you are going to spend that money on?
Right. I'm sure it's the Lord's will and everything, but I just have a feeling that little Jimmy Joe is sitting up there on his right hand, and it was his idea all along, and he gave it to the Lord.
Bless his heart. I swear to Pete, that child is amazing, isn't he? I mean, just barely got up there, hadn't even settled
7
in
days.
yet. Yeah.
7 days.
Didn't meet his neighbors, nothing, and already he's doing this stuff. Bless his heart. Bless him. Bless him.
Bless him indeed. And there's another message we're talking about here, and that's the message of the power of television. Loretta, I'll tell you what I mean. I was just on the television at once, and just for a very short time. But you would be amazed at the reaction we got. Just a tremendous outpouring of love and faith. I'm amazed.
Yeah, well, it does, give a body something to think about. I sure hope Charlie's up there sleeping, because I'd really hate to have another scene,
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you on that one. But getting back to the subject of the power of television, I've been doing a great deal of thinking about that, and I'm really convinced that power has just got to be passed along and put in the right and proper hands.
How would you do that?
Well, let's say I'd start with building the condos for Christ. Now, that would just be the beginning, you understand, and then, of course, I'd fill them up with clean living, unswinging, low-income singles. But again, that's just the beginning. I'm looking forward to creating housing for the poor, and I mean the serious poor. Loretta, I just somehow I know that the Lord wants my help, but I'm beginning to feel like I can't help him enough unless I leave the pulpit. Now, I hate to tell you that, but I've thought about it a lot, and to me, you see, he's already revealed his word, so I think it's the only thing to do.
But, Merle, how would you do that? What would you do?
Well, let me just say that I got this letter here. It's one of the first letters I got, and as far as I'm concerned, that's
Merle
God.
Jeter for president?
Yeah.
Of the United States of America?
Right. See, it's a matter of completing an unfinished job as far as I'm concerned. See, I feel as if my faith has certainly been strengthened, and my duty has been revealed to me through the Word of God.
You know something, Merle? This may seem bizarre to you, but for some bizarre reason, my faith has just been renewed by talking to you.
Well,
I know it's crazy. It's almost like that faith just leaks out of your body onto mine. You're just like a politician reborn.
Well, gosh, I certainly thank you for those kind words, Loretta. I consider that an honor. As far as I'm concerned, it's happening every day across the country, and I'm just proud to be one of the many that's spreading the good word now and showing people the way.
Well, with Charlie getting shot on account of you and everything, I do got mixed feelings about you, Merle, but I don't know, in a strange, wacky, madcap kind of way. And I know it's strange, but you give me strength, Merle.
Mm-hmm.
You really do, and as a result of that, I'm kind of glad you're going to be around, and I hope that we'll be seeing each other, But Merle, and I cannot stress this enough, Merle, that I really want you to resist the temptation that you feel, and you got to resist it and control, Merle, and I mean control your lust for my attraction.
Heather, you've grown a foot. Have I been gone that long?
No, it's just my new platform shoes. See?
Get those shoes off that furniture! Oh, I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I'm sorry. Put your put your shoes back on the furniture. If that's what makes you happy, you keep the shoes on the furniture. It's fine. I just want you to be happy, and I want you to be happy in a way that makes you happy, not in a way that makes me happy. So if it makes you happy to have those ugly shoes on that furniture, you just keep those shoes on that furniture. Okay, sweetheart?
You know, you're even crazier now than when they put you in the nut house.
Oh, Heather, you have developed the most wonderful sense of humor. Do you know how healthy it is to have a good sense of humor? Could I have a Coke?
How'd you get out of there? Did you escape?
Did I escape? No, Heather, I got better. That's how I got out of there. I got better.
You know, Daddy didn't tell me you were coming home. Is this some kind of plot?
A plot, Heather? No, this is no plot. I live here. I mean, this is my home. I came home to make things happy for us again. I mean, we're going to be a happy family. Could I have a glass? Oh, thank you. I noticed they finished digging outside.
Oh, yeah. The city finished that right after the David Susskind show. But there were a few bus tours the first week.
Where's Daddy?
Down at the Capri Lounge.
Is it the Capri Lounge? He's not drinking again, is he?
Oh, no, nothing like that.
Oh, good, because I really got scared, you know. I mean, why would someone go to the Capri Lounge, like, you know, unless they're going to have a drink?
Oh, you went to meet Nasha Warnoff for a club soda.
Nasha Warnoff? What is that, a ballerina?
No, it's an AA buddy. They sit and keep each other from feeling lonely.
Oh. Well, then maybe I should, you know, for dinner set an extra. You know, just in case he brings the ballerina home. I hear that the Russians love to eat.
Of course. He says he and Nash are only buddies, but if I had a buddy like her, she'd breeze over the phone funny.
Oh, she calls him? So, you know, what else is happening?
Grandpa George disappeared from the face of the earth. And Grandma blames it on Kathy, who cannot, and, you know, she went and got pregnant, and she cannot for the life of her figure out who the husband is. Well, that's anybody's guess, you know, but she swears it's not Father DeMarco. And a man named Gore Vidal called here. He wanted to see you. I told him you had too many boyfriends and to get lost.
Heather, how would you feel about taking a nap for a few days?
Mary! Mary Hartman! Oh, hon, here you are home already.
Oh, Loretta.
Oh, you know, I thought that I saw those braids of yours through that kitchen window, unless, of course, it was Kathy who was just copying your hairstyle.
Oh, Loretta. Oh, you're not still angry with me, are you?
Mary, hon, best friends don't stay angry at each other. Of course I ain't.
Oh,
Mary.
What?
I was so worried about you.
Oh, Loretta. I am just so glad to see you. I mean, I haven't had a bad cup of coffee since I left you.
Are you okay, Mary?
Oh, yeah, Loretta, I'm fine. I'm real fine.
Oh, good. Mary, you can lean on me. You know what I mean? Because, well, friends are to lean on. It's true, and I'll tell you something. This pressure that I'm feeling from you, Mary, is certainly giving me strength.
Loretta, don't move right now, okay? Just don't move.
All right. You know what the good book says, Mary? That giving and helping others gives us as individuals a lot more than it takes from us. So are you happy to be home, Mary?
Oh, Loretta, I'm just so glad to see you.
Here, why don't you sit down? Oh, Mary, I got to tell you that I was really very unhappy to hear about your daddy. You know, him running away and all.
Oh, You mean that really is true? Heather told me that, but I didn't realize that that really is true. What does that mean?
I don't know what it means, but it is true. But, Mary, I want you to look on the bright side of things.
You look so wonderful, Loretta.
God knows I do.
You really do. And I mean, at least everything's okay with you and Charlie.
Well, it's not exactly, all right, but, well, he's a lot better off than what happened to poor little Jimmy Joe, getting electrocuted in the bathtub and everything with the TV set and all. I tell you, Mary, it is one of the worst things I have ever been through in my entire life. Except, of course, the little incident when Merle and me was in the motel, and then Charlie comes up with a loaded shotgun. That little...
Well, this episode was designed to catch you up on all the stuff that I caught you up on. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Taking it back to the beginning, Loretta and Charlie have always been the couple who I felt had the healthiest affection for each other in this show. I think very rarely do we see a couple actually have affection between each other. Occasionally you will see Tom and Mary, and it's usually after an awful fight. I think the Fetters never had any affection between each other. Howard and Ed McCullough never had any affection for each other. Once or possibly twice we will see Martha be affectionate towards George, and I think that's all of the couples I can think of. Oh yeah, there was Steve and Kathy, or Kathy and all of her various men. That we'll get to later. But to see Charlie and Loretta have this emotional situation between them, have one of the powerful elements of their relationship just off limits, is hard. And it's strange because the beginning of the first season, or really a good portion of the first season, was about Tom's unnamed dysfunction, which I always presumed was some kind of erectile dysfunction. And that's in a much less healthy relationship. So looking at Charlie and Loretta here, it hurts a different way. And, I think if we presume that season 1 was about Tom's erectile dysfunction, and we know that this case is Charlie's erectile dysfunction, then it seems like, they're repeating a beat. But, it's not exactly that. They're taking something that seemed to work in the first season and putting a different spin on it, putting it in someone else's court. Like, not that there's a third or fourth season of this show, but who's going to get the erectile dysfunction next, Not that this is that. This is definitely not that. But it does feel... I feel a different kind of pain with Loretta and Charlie having this specific issue, because they really both want the affection. And in the first season, Tom could take or leave the sexual attention, but Mary needed it. So in Mary and Tom's relationship, a sexual dysfunction between the two showed off the power imbalance. And in Charlie and Loretta's relationship, it feels more like there's yearning on both sides, even if Loretta is willing to be patient. I can see pain in Charlie. Kathy goes to the motel to find the name of the bartender that she dated off screen in the beginning of season 1, Larry Kabibian. And all I can remember that was said about him was that he was dumb. And that was it. And then pretty soon after that, she was dating Steve. So she's not looking for Steve, so I guess Larry Kabibian is the guy. I don't know if she's going to find him. Maybe that's going to be something that we will follow down. Then we see Merle and Loretta together, and Merle was about to leave, but then got a lot of letters of support from Fernwood. I know that just a month after this episode would be around Election Day of 1976. I don't remember the precise date, but Election Day is usually in November, and this episode's in October, so the election is coming up quick. So this would be a reference to someone wanting to write in Merle as a candidate. So I would hate to see him as our president. I generally think that he is a huckster, a rapscallion, a scalawag. We need less of that in office. But apparently he is getting that attention, and we'll see what that means for Merle. Loretta is very clearly setting a boundary for Merle, which I think is fair, although I wish that she would just not have him around. But I can see the connection between Jimmy Joe, Merle, and Loretta, and that is something that is going to tie them together, I think, for as long as these two characters are in the show together. And then Mary came home, and I was surprised to see that she did not have the explosive reaction to the state of the house that I was expecting. Maybe I'm okay with that. I think, maybe Mary is just happy to see the place didn't fall into a ditch. And as far as the internal parts of the house, well, she was the only person who was the caretaker of the home, so I guess she shouldn't expect for someone else to figure out how to do all of the things that she knew how to do very well. I mean, Heather literally throws her pop tab on the floor. Something that was not verbally addressed, but that I noticed last week, I mentioned that Chester Markham's lunchbox looked exactly like Heather's, and that lunchbox appears in this episode front and center of the screen. I don't know if that's going to be some kind of plot device, but it might. On the other hand, Mary does seem quite jealous that Tom has a friend from AA, and that was something I would expect her to be really ornery about. And I suppose we will see the outcome of that. I expect that Mary will head straight to the Capri Lounge, or she will wait at home with some words for Tom. She does need those pills that Dr. Williams gave her. That's all I can say about that. That's what I've got to say about this episode, everyone. Thank you for sharing your television-related thoughts down in the comments, because we like conversation. Thank you for being here. Thank you for digesting this episode with me, and we will see you tomorrow night in Fernwood.